everybody, and welcome to the Grand Prix review for the 2020 British Grand Prix here at Silverstone as well. And we're on air an hour and a half earlier because, as I think Synthos actually has joined us, is saying in the group chat as well, we've had some breaking news about Max Verstappen. I'm delighted to tell you he is okay. No serious injuries as well. And it is true, Steve Jones of Channel 4 has reported it as well. I've had the same press release come through. This is live, Synthol. This is absolutely live. Hello, I can prove it to you it's live. Look, there we go. That proves it's live. Don't know how it proves it's live, but yeah. So this is live. This is live. This is a live post-race show. And I'm delighted to tell you that Max Verstappen is okay at the moment as well. That is the information that we have received via Channel 4 and via the others today as well, of Sky F1 telling us as well. So if it was announced on air, we can take it as true and have the same press release as well. Just having a quick look to see if anything else as well we can tell you. But Megan, let's just say quickly as well that this Grand Prix, I don't think anybody expected it to go this way. The sprint race yesterday, we thought, oh, it's going to be a dull one tomorrow. How wrong we were. Race of the season. And for those first 9 corners before the crash, some of the best racing we've seen in years.
It was, and I must admit, the crash was very shocking because I don't think any of us really expected it to happen that soon.
Yeah, side by side, going into turn 9, and clips him, and round he goes.
We didn't even make it a lap.
No, we didn't. And I called it a racing incident. I think everybody shared the same agreement. Karun Chatnock agrees it's a racing incident. The stewards, on the other hand, didn't. Gave Lewis Hamilton a 10-second time penalty. Do you think that's fair, or the stewards interfering a little bit too much?
I think 10 seconds was a bit extreme.
Yeah, but it was a high impact as well, and just glad that everyone's okay after that horrific accident. The championship lead cut, though, as we said, to 8 World Championship points, and it's given as a very unusual podium with Hamilton taking his 8th Grand Prix victory. Despite that 10-second penalty, he fought back. It was even 14.2 in the pit stops as well. He fought back hard and overtook Leclerc with just 2 laps to go down at Copse Corner, and Karun's analysed it on the Skypad as well, and the move Lewis pulled on Charles Leclerc was exactly the same move he pulled on Verstappen to the wheel. So it was exactly the same. Yeah. And Leclerc didn't crash. The only thing Karun said as well is the fact that Verstappen was indecisive and turned in early.
Yeah, it cost him.
Yeah, it was a racing incident. I don't know why the steward... Yeah, it was a racing incident between 2 championship rivals. We knew it was going to happen at some point.
I think maybe they partly gave him the penalty because what they're going to do to Verstappen, give him a time penalty.
Yeah,
it didn't even set a time.
It was a very unusual one as well, and not one that I anticipate is any good. Let's go to the group chat quickly then as well, and to see Synthol saying hello as well. And he look now, that's the breaking news from the FIA doctor as well, which is great news. It was a 51 G impact though, Megs. 51 against the G's of gravity as well. Of course, Roman Grosjean's, I think, was 48, 49, so it was even higher than that in the card.
I thought it was 63.
I was in 63. You've got a better memory than I have
or
about
68,
that. Yeah.
One of the two.
But still, 51 G impact, that's heavy. And delightful he's okay. And Synthol also says as well...
No wonder he was dazed.
Synthol also says, yeah, but Leclerc wasn't that far ahead, and Leclerc went off track as well, left more space than needed. No, the move was already done. Hamilton went for the move at exactly the same point that he did for Verstappen. The only difference was that Leclerc didn't turn in more. And actually, we found out via the Skypad as well that Lewis was actually ahead into Copse Corner, but he braked earlier. He didn't brake, he lifted, which allowed Verstappen to drift more around the outside. Verstappen was more on throttle than Hamilton was. And Verstappen, so Hamilton was ahead going into Copse. He lifted because Verstappen had already started turning in. They played it side by side in real time. So Hamilton was ahead, and then we see Verstappen's wheel jiggle, and he turns it more towards Lewis as well. What Verstappen was thinking, I don't know. They gave Lewis the penalty. In my opinion, it was a racing incident, maybe even a bit premeditated from Max as well. It would just seem that the stewards overreacted. In my opinion, it was a racing incident. And it's given Netflix something to talk about in their Drive to Survive 3rd season. The fact that this was it.
Yeah.
Hamilton hit Verstappen and Verstappen hit Hamilton. It happened. They made contact, the 2 championship rivals.
They did, and I've just seen Lewis Hamilton climbing the fence and sitting on the top of it.
Yeah, this is live for watching.
The weirdest thing I've ever done.
He's finally put a mask on as well, which is great news as well. But an interesting point as well, as I look for more news as well. At Zachary Mapes says, dirty driving by Hamilton, and then there is no way he would even black flag. Roles reversed to be crying for Verstappen to get suspended as well. He should have tried that move. Insanity. I don't think Verstappen is the best driver when it comes to respecting others on the grid. Alonso does a pretty good job in that. That's at Erin, which is Erin C_ as well, and everyone's still worried out there as well. And if that explains Hamilton blamed for Verstappen collision, so we can get that up for you now and talk to you about that as well. Going through quickly, this is from themotorsport.com by Jonathan Noble, who has got some quotes as well. The stewards reviewed video and telemetry evidence. The steward said cars 33 Verstappen and 44 Hamilton entered turn 9 with car 33 in the lead and car 44 slightly behind on the inside. Car 44 was on a line that did not reach the apex of the corner with room available to the inside. When car 33, that's Verstappen, turned into the corner, car 44 Lewis did not avoid contact and left the left front of car 44 contacted the right rear of car 33. Car 44 is judged predominantly at fault. That's an interesting one as well. I don't agree with the stewards there on that front, because we've seen the pictures for ourselves, and Karun said it as well. I thought that was a racing incident. They were racing hard, and they were already banging wheels down the Wellington straight into Brooklands. They were banging wheels constantly, and they were wheel to wheel. They went off at turn 2, they went off at Brooklands, Luffield as well before the accident. It's been chaotic as anything. Your opinion on the Verstappen accident then?
I thought it was a racing incident. I've just been looking at the Sky thing, and Lewis was basically attacked off Mercedes with a champagne bottle thing. He's just spraying at them all during the picture.
Synthol saying as well, let's go to the chat as well, saying, but got to be honest here, Lewis acted like he won the championship while Verstappen is in hospital. Exactly, he didn't hit the apex. That's what the steward said. Yeah, but Lewis was ahead, according to the TV pictures we saw in real time. And that's the weird thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those things like we had last week in Austria. It's going to be debated for ages.
Yeah, it's going to be very controversial, and we'll probably be still talking about this next year.
Yeah, probably will be. As for Lewis, didn't actually know Verstappen was in the hospital as he's trying to break the catch fencing to get onto the track to speak to the fans. Oh dear, Lewis really is breaking the catch fencing of Silverstone right now, and he's done it. Lewis, live pictures are saying he's broken the catch fencing and he's climbed out of the pit lane to stand on top of the railings and celebrate with the team as well and everything. And I was hoping we might be able to hear there, but we haven't. He's now got onto the track and he's greeting the fans as well. So Lewis having a very interesting one there. Question says, Synthol says, Lewis was ahead? Yes, according to the Skypad with Karun Chanhok, as well, who played the two images side by side as Lewis throws his cap into the crowd, with live telemetry data as well and live pictures that they were side by side in real time. It was Hamilton ahead compared to Verstappen going into the corner. For the briefest of moments from the onboard cameras, it was Hamilton ahead before he backed off and lifted, and it was Hamilton closing in, and he hit his right rear tyre. Yeah, because Hamilton, as I said, backed off. Can I borrow your microphone? Thank you. So if this is it, look. So the side by side coming out to the corner, Verstappen eked ahead, backed out of it while Verstappen was still going flat out. So Verstappen went more up. And when they came into the corner, they were both turning the wheel at the same time. Max jolted and turned into Lewis a bit more.
Yeah.
So that it was a racing incident. We've seen things like that happen before. It was a racing incident. It's the fact it stopped the race. It was the fact it was so big of an impact that the stewards delivered the penalty. But in my opinion, if that was a not the fastest corner on the track, it's Copse Corner. If that was down at the loop. If that was at the loop. Yeah. If that was at the loop, it wouldn't be. This wouldn't have happened. Let's have a look then as well. But Synthol says, but he knows how he's in hospital. But he now knows he's in hospital, and that he's still cheering way too much. But he had room on the inside right. So to go on with Lewis Hamilton, the teams all the teams got the same press release we did at the same time about 30 minutes ago now. The press release is that Max Verstappen is okay. And that they all got that press release before it was made public. So Lewis, now celebrating, knows that Max is okay. And he was very, very much, Lewis, asking how he was on the radio throughout the race as well. We could hear it over our cans as well. So, so Lewis is celebrating now, but he knows that Max is okay. Someone says as well, but he had room on the right. But yeah, I respect your opinion. My opinion is that Lewis is at fault. Yeah, it's very easy to see Lewis is at fault. I can see why, but Verstappen also had room on the outside to drift like Leclerc did. It was a racing incident. They were racing hard on the opening lap. I call it as not Hamilton's fault. I don't call it as Verstappen's fault. In my opinion, they both did things that were a bit weird. Why did Verstappen changed the wheel direction so many times at the fastest corner on the track? You could see him on the onboard. He was changing the wheel so much and going tighter towards Lewis. He sent Lewis to that part of the track. Lewis had nowhere else to go but the inside because Verstappen moved so late to defend Copse. Hamilton was ahead into the braking zone or the lift zone through Copse. He backed out of it. Verstappen was turning in. That is a racing incident.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be one of these things that are just so complicated that everyone else is going to just have they're going to see things different ways and because it's just going to be one of those things that I think even the teams themselves are going to be arguing about for a very long time in the season.
Red Bull blame Lewis. Red Bull blame Lewis. Mercedes blame Verstappen. I think that's where it is at the moment. It's sort of split a lot, isn't it, at the moment? But anyway, this is, as you see, the top three. Lewis Hamilton won after a 14-second penalty. As well in the pit stop. He overtook with 2 laps to go to Charles Leclerc. The British fans erupted. We erupted. It was a great overtake at Copse Corner, and the fans are willing him on. I don't care who wins the race.
No, neither do I.
I really enjoyed the end of that one though, because that was a great race and a great comeback. But I do feel sorry for Lando Norris, who in a botched pit stop at the rear left, Lando could have won the race today so easily.
He could have, yeah.
And that's what hurts the most as well. That it could have been. The fact that Lando could have won his first race today at Silverstone like Johnny Herbert did back in 1995. So Bottas, though, finishing third. That's good for him and Mercedes. They close up again in the Red Bull Constructors' Championship. That's the key thing as well.
Civil saying, but you've got to agree that it's more Lewis's fault than Max, right? But you see more of a racing incident than Lewis's fault. Yeah, it was kind of a bit more Lewis's fault. He shouldn't have gone for a move there, I think.
I would say it's 60% Lewis's fault, 40% Max's fault. Even I was going as high as say it's 70 Lewis, 30 Verstappen.
Yeah.
But it's not 100% either way. That's why I view it as
That's why it's racing incident.
It's a racing incident for me, yeah.
True fault. It's just... I do think it was more Lewis's fault, and that obviously the stewards agree with that.
But when it's not 100 either way, that would be a racing incident. So I don't know why. If Verstappen was still in the race, he might have got a penalty for moving to defend from Lewis so aggressively in the fast part of the track. So,
I think he would have.
Yeah, so it's give and take, really, quite a lot. And that's what I think is what's wonderful about Formula One. We're going to have this give and take throughout the entire season as well. But let's go over then and take a look at the full results for this race. And that's the wrong tracker, actually. That's the driver tracker. There we go. There's button number 1. With the full race results of the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. It's Lewis Hamilton winning by 3.871 at the moment. Then we go for Charles Leclerc in second. Valtteri Bottas is third. Lando Norris fourth. Daniel Ricciardo fifth. Great job by the two McLarens today, you must say. They kept their positions, and actually, looking at them, they improved on their positions as well due to Verstappen and the other accidents as well. Carlos Sainz P6, Fernando Alonso P7, Lance Stroll 8th, 9th for Esteban Ocon, so double points for Alpine, and Yuki Tsunoda getting points for the 4th time this season after previously having points let's have a look, immediately at Bahrain, Azerbaijan, and Styria.
So he gets 10th each time.
Yeah, he has been 10th. Actually, no, he got 6 points in Bahrain.
Did he?
Yeah. So then going down, we see Peter Gasly is 11th, George Russell 12th. So close there as well. Then Antonio Giovinazzi 13th, Nicholas Latifi 14th, Kimi Raikkonen 15th, Sergio Perez 16th, Nikita Mazepin is 17th, Mick Schumacher 18th, and the only two retirements, Sebastian Vettel, who retired as well, and Max Verstappen in 20th, and we all know what happened to him as well. So let's go over quickly as well to the group chat because Synthel says, so it's more Lewis's fault, but not enough for it to be a penalty. That's what I'm saying, yeah, because I'd say 60 or 70 to Lewis, and 40 or 30 to Max. It was a racing incident on lap 1 of a race. Usually they don't give penalty for that one. Synthel also says, but I'd say Lewis's fault 90%, but that me doesn't think I'm blind Max fan because I can easily admit if Max's fault. Yeah, we know, you've said that before as well. And remember as well, I said in Baku how they shouldn't restart the race and let Max win. If you do remember as well, if for those of you think, I said it back in Azerbaijan when Max had that horrific accident again and the race was red flagged on lap 51. I said, let's not restart the race. Let's go back a lap. Let's give Max Verstappen this race win because otherwise it just doesn't. It doesn't work. And do you remember how the restart of the race was like, oh no, Lewis is going to win this one.
And then he just
went straight on.
Yeah,
he went straight on and binned it. And how happy we were that the championship's still close again. Yeah. It's the same now. Max was running away with the title, and everyone was like, "Oh no, he's gonna do a Lewis. Max is gonna keep winning." They won 5 in a row.
Tighter again.
8 points between them. It's tightened everything up. That's what we like to see. Synthel also goes on to say, my TikTok has gone viral, and now I get hundreds of comments about everyone's opinions on the crash. As soon as they're saying, how much will this put Max back in case of the damage done to the car? I think, they've lost the engine, they've lost the gearbox, they've lost the chassis. It's going to be a whole new one for Hungary.
Lucky they've got 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think what might happen is they'll go to an older spec car they've used in the first 9 races for Hungary and then come back in Belgium with a new car.
Synthel says, it's another crash where it's difficult to blame anyone and it's many different opinions. It is. And I think those opinions will go on for a while. So I think your TikTok's going to go crazy for like a month or so.
The only thing that I care about right now is that Max Verstappen is okay and he's out of hospital because nobody likes to see that. Dr. Ian Roberts has confirmed he's okay. No broken bones. He was walking away.
Just a bit dizzy.
Yeah, just a bit dizzy, Joss said as well. I'm glad to see that Max should be okay coming back for a fight in Hungary, a track that both him and Lewis enjoy as well. Fastest lap of the day went to Sergio Perez. He started 20th in the pit lane, moved up the order, then had a puncture, had contact with Kimi Raikkonen, pitted 3 times in the race, put on a set of softs and got the fastest lap bonus point. That was crucial for Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship as well. Driver of the day, that was given to Charles Leclerc as well, and I can see why. Absolutely as well deserved. So now what we'll do is we'll go through the drivers' standings as well before we go off air. It's Max Verstappen on 185 points. 8 points back now. It's Lewis Hamilton on 177. Lando Norris secures third on 113 points to Valtteri Bottas on 108. 104 points now for Sergio Perez, and Charles Leclerc moves ahead of Carlos Sainz now. 80 points to Carlos Sainz's 68. Danny Ricciardo's on 50, Pierre Gasly 39, and Sebastian Vettel, no points today, still on 30 points. On the second page, Fernando Alonso still has 26, Lance Stroll has 18, Esteban Ocon 14, Yuki Tsunoda also has 10 points now to his name. Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi still on 1, and no points for George Russell, Mick Schumacher, Nicholas Latifi, or Nikita Mazepin. In the Constructors' Championship, it's still Red Bull leading on 189 points now, but my God, has that gap closed down because Mercedes are now on 285 points. The fight back on in both the drivers and the Constructors' Championship. We go down as well. Mercedes are now on 285. McLaren on 163 with good points today over Ferrari on 148. 100 points back, AlphaTauri on 49 and Aston Martin on 48. Alpine are on 40. Alfa Romeo on 2 points and no points for Williams or for Haas. And as soon as saying as well, Red Bull's second driver cursed. It's back. It seems to be back this weekend as well. And
let's hope it doesn't stay.
That spin in the sprint qualifying really cost Perez today, and it hasn't been Red Bull's weekend. Despite Max taking the sprint race win and getting 3 extra points, and also with the fact that he dominated practice sessions, he didn't qualify on pole for the sprint, but took it anyway, and was on pole for the race today as well. Red Bull have really thrown it down the can this weekend. That advantage they built up over 5 races, gone in a puff of...
They can rebuild it, though.
Yeah, gone in a puff of smoke and dust this weekend.
And have you noticed that sprint qualifying is what did it? They would still have a little bit more points if they had sprint qualifying.
It seems to be one of those weekends as well. Okay then, folks, that's it for the British Grand Prix this weekend as well. We've done all we can to analyse that. I am here, but I'm just having to change things over. So, Megan, I'm going to ask one more time. Going into Hungary next time out as well, in 2 weeks' time as well, on the 31st to the 2nd of August. So, who do you think is going to be victorious there, Verstappen or Hamilton?
Ooh, I don't know. Hold on. I'll do what I always do. If it's even, then Hamilton... I'm looking at the time. It's even, then Hamilton. If it's not,
Odd.
then...
It's an even, 1850. Hamilton. Oh dear.
Apparently.
Oh, is that an odd number or an even? It's an even number.
That side of the clock, if it's Hamilton. Hold on. And it's on that side of the clock.
Okay.
Apparently, time thinks it's like that.
So, we are back next weekend for the London Prix at Formula E. Edward Hunter joins me in the commentary box for that one again for the 2 races in London. And then Formula 1 and the British Touring Cars are back next weekend, 2 weeks' time as well. Cynthia saying, could you take a lot of Verstappen's recent post? Take a look, I presume. I will indeed. Is it on Instagram or where is that Verstappen's post? I presume it's on Instagram. I certainly will read it out if it's there. As well. I can't see it at the moment. If you could tell me where it is, I definitely will. Megan is just finding it now as well. As actually what I can show you is a photo of the wonderful Alex Jakes commentating right now on Channel 4 as well.
I've got it.
Oh, brilliant. If I'll read it out.
It's a picture of a phone.
So, okay, Max Verstappen has said, first of all, I am glad I am okay. It was quite an impact at 51G, but feeling better. Obviously very disappointed with being taken out like this. The penalty given does not help us in any way and doesn't do justice the dangerous move Lewis made on track. Watching the celebrations after the race while still in hospital is disrespectful and unsportsmanlike behaviour, but we move on. Very interesting. Is that more psychological battle, do you reckon? So Max is clearly okay with Instagramming, but is that more psychological battle to get back in Lewis's head, or does Max genuinely feel that Lewis is a bit more dangerous there?
Kind of genuine what he feels like, because he wouldn't have made such a post out there knowing Max. He probably just would have complained about it to his team.
Very interesting. That sparks to me that the press conference next time out is going to be interesting as well. And yes, we echo that as well, Cynthia saying, and yeah, he's very happy, he's okay. Well, 95% okay. Absolutely. That's the best thing as well, because nobody likes to see a racing incident like that. I'm very, very glad Max is on the mend as well, but hopefully he's out of St. John's Hospital as soon as possible. And not really a nice way to say it, but obviously he is annoyed. Absolutely. Well, he's used a more colourful word there, beginning with a P and ending in the ed. But yeah, Verstappen sees it one way, Hamilton sees it the other. It's divided the fandom as well. I'm being piggy in the middle. I'm saying it's a racing incident.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same because it's the only way it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it seems to be. Well, I'm glad we got that image as well, and I'm glad we've had a great weekend either way at Silverstone, because we've tried something new with the sprint qualifying as well, and it was an interesting experience as well, and it delivered us with some interesting racing for Formula 1 on the Sunday race. Nobody could have predicted what happened with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. I'm off to get changed. I'm going out for a while. Megan, I think you're going to have dinner. As well.
Either that, I'm just going to laze around in bed just listening or watching Star Trek Voyager.
I'm going to have a corona test now as well. Always have a coronavirus test if you're going out anywhere. It makes everybody safer than normal. Okay, my thanks to you, Megan, for joining me this weekend in the commentary box. Hopeful to see you in Hungary. Get a week off next weekend, of course, because no MotoGP. So we'll see you in Hungary, hopefully. And Ian Burge will be joining us back in Hungary as well. My thanks to him this weekend as well for all of the action. Cynthia says, I mean, in my opinion, you shouldn't be able to win after crashing out your rival. But that's your opinion. I think it's an opinion that matters as well. And it's going to be a very interesting one. A controversial day here at Silverstone where the battles of giants, the two championship rivals, have come together in the form of Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. I'm delighted Max is okay and is on the mend. Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix for an 8th time. It's going to be an interesting one. The home races are proving very advantage for Red Bull and Mercedes. They are indeed. Next time out, it's over to Hungary, a track that both Max and Lewis have memories of. Both good and bad. The Hungarian Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time for Formula 1 marks the halfway point of the season. The championship is closing up. Who says Formula 1's boring? The title is going to go to the wire. We'll see you in Hungary in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for your company here at Silverstone. It's been a pleasure. It's good night to you all.